Oh, here comes my husband. He's bringing over, oh, you can't see. He's bringing over some wood. We're out on my parents' undeveloped property in the San Juan Islands. We are collecting firewood and other things found in nature that have already fallen and had its life to do crafting. And when you see me next, we'll hopefully be sat at my desk and doing something really cool with the stuff that we found out here today. See you soon. I'm back home now. This is what I pulled from my parents' property. I did some internet sleuthing. I think these are two different things possibly, and I think they're both a type of fur. I believe this one is a Douglas fir. There was a lot of confusion on, like, apparently depending on where you live, they, like, a fir tree and they're all considered the same thing. I don't know, it was really confusing. But this is what I've got. I didn't take too much. That's something I really want to emphasize in this video, is that when you are, it smells just like a Christmas tree, so I'm guessing it's Douglas fir. When you are in nature and you are doing any kind of foraging, or you're just out on a walk, ask permission from whatever spirits are living in that area for what you are picking up. And I like to think that you'll just know if you're granted permission. Like, sometimes you'll ask for something and you'll look down and you'll immediately see that it was there. Or it'll catch your eye from a distance and you'll know when you're done. Sometimes you won't be able to find the thing that you wanted anymore, or you'll just have a gut feeling that you've taken too much. And that's what I usually do. I just kind of listen up, you know? So I'm gonna take this really gorgeous mortar and pestle set that I got, and these are obviously fresh. They were just on the ground when I picked them up. I'm going to take the needles off, and I'm going to try not to leave the twigs behind, or twigs in here. And I'm going to just bruise the needles with the pestle. My plan is to create a little sachet of crushed needles for some aromatherapy. This is something that you could put in your pillowcase or hang from your rear view mirror in your vehicle. Keep it in your purse, work bag, backpack, anywhere that you think you are going to be needing a little bit of a nature infusion, as it were. Oh gosh, even just picking these off of the branch is so aromatic. That was one of the ways I was able to identify what this was. Because I picked up another thing that I'm pretty sure is Western hemlock, and I have like a Washington State field guide identifier thing, brochure, and it says that if you pinch the needles or you lightly bruise them, they should have a pungent smell. This definitely has a pungent smell. There are ways to make teas from pine needles or other foraged, tree bits. I feel like I never do it quite right. I don't know if I just don't put enough of these in, or I don't let it steep long enough, but it just never tastes quite like I think it will. Or it's too strong. You can actually just chew on a couple of these needles, and that was a way that armies and other civilizations that were away from, you know, more civilized civilizations would get their vitamin C needs met. So it was a way that scurvy was prevented when you were on long voyages at sea. If a military group was in a place that was not familiar, they would, like not familiar to their biomes, their systems, there goes that branch. They would chew some of these. And they found that a lot of their ailments would quickly go away. There is, I will say, just as a warning, this is another reason I don't do the tea thing very often, is just the fear that I'm accidentally picking yew, Y-E-W, because it looks similar. It's a look-alike plant, and the needles from that are toxic. So that definitely grows in the Pacific Northwest where I live. So I try really hard to make absolutely 1000% sure that what I have picked is what I think it is. And this stuff all came from, oh my gosh, the needles are going everywhere. This all came from 5 acres, on Whidbey Island, my favorite place in the world other than Scotland. And so I know that this is all really fresh, that my parents' land is bordered by only, actually, like 2 other families, and they have, it's just them on that land, and they're really spread out on that island. You can't, you have to buy in parcels of like 5 or 10 acres at a time so that you don't overpopulate the island. So this is very pure, untouched by pollution for the most part. So I feel good working with it. Okay, that feels like at least half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup. And I'm going to take the pestle. You take the slender end in your hand. It's already super aromatic. It's crazy. All I've done is just pick them off. And I'm not crushing them in the sense that I want to make a paste or anything like that. I'm just giving a really gentle kind of loving push. There are grooves. I don't know if they're showing up on the video, but there are grooves in this bowl, so this is getting nicely, oh gosh, I cannot even describe to you. It's like when you get a fresh Christmas tree and you just take a big ol' nose full of air of it, and it's just so good. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna do 2 things with this. We're gonna make a cleaning concoction with it, really simple. And you probably could do this from needles that you get from a tree that's maybe by a park in your house. Since you're not going to be ingesting it, it might not, or if you are watching this in like December, January, and you think you might want to make a cleaning spray out of your leftover Christmas tree, you could do this too. For the cleaning spray, the cleaning spray, I'm just gonna do that real quick because once I make it, you just set it aside for a few weeks. All you need to do is probably find a funnel. I'm taking white distilled vinegar, and I put it in here because I have a big old jug of it, and there is no way I'm gonna try to make it fit in this bottle. So I'm going to okay, here we go. I will clean that up in a second. very carefully. This bottle is was left behind in our house. So when I was preparing to put our belongings into the kitchen, I found this really tucked back in this cupboard, and it looked like it had never been used before. I bet the previous owner bought it and completely forgot about it. It got like pushed back, and it hasn't seen the light of day in a long time. So it's nice to have a purpose for it. All right, let's, that was the natural stopping point. I'm gonna clean this up real quick because the smell is so gross. I think, I've heard that once you clean with vinegar, once it like disintegrates, you can't smell it anymore. Whew! All right, there are so many smells happening right here. I am just going to make a huge mess probably. We're just going to why did I choose this? The directions said to use a mason jar. Why am I doing this to myself? The only funnel that we have in the house was previously used to add windshield wiper fluid to my car. So I don't like reuse that for this. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's just soapy water. But I also, like, we're doing something with natural ingredients here, right? And this is part of the process. Like, isn't it part of the process that it's kind of just messy and life is messy? Can we make that parallel, I guess? Oh, jeez. This is actually not enough needles for what I read is the best amount for this craft. So I'm probably gonna have to do some more needle removing and bruising and adding off screen, because I highly doubt you want to sit through all that. So if you're still here, thank you for still being here. You know, I'm new to making these crafting videos. I mean, I've been crafting forever, but making the videos is kind of interesting because, like, what captures people's attention long enough to watch the whole thing? I know what captures my attention long enough. All right, for now, I'm going to put the stopper on this. Wait, that doesn't look right. Doesn't this part go down? Yes. No? Does it? How do? I'm gonna give that a little bit of a shake. You're supposed to just let it set, I think, in a like cool, dark place so it can all settle in. But for this to be properly scented with the pine needles, I think I am gonna need more. But it looks pretty, doesn't it? Okay, I'm gonna go do some more work off screen and be right back. This is what I came up with. I added a bunch more of the needles and then topped it up with the white distilled vinegar. And now all of the needles are submerged. I'm going to keep an eye on this. It's gonna live in a cabinet in one of my bathrooms. I think it needs to be somewhere dark. Now what we're gonna do is make a little sachet. So I'm gonna clean this up and we'll do that next. There are a couple of different ways that you can go about making sachets. One of the easiest ways and very quick is to get one of these little pouches, drawstring pouches. And they are, how would you call it? Like, they do have little teeny weeny holes, but they're usually really durable and have like 2 layers. So if you're gonna stick, you could probably even just put a whole little twig of it in here. That way you're not worrying about taking the bits apart. And actually that looks quite nice. just having it in there makes a nice little visual. So I could do that. Otherwise you would take the fir needles off of the branch. I also have lots of fabric. Okay, not a lot. I've seen other people's fabric stashes and this is nothing. You could get a little piece of cotton, and again, just to make it easier on yourself, you could stick the whole thing in there, or you could go like that and maybe kind of tie it into a little bunch. I do have several squares, quilting squares like this, that I think would be really pretty for this. So I'm going to use one of these. And I think this is the inside of it. I'm going to put some in here. I'm kind of wondering if maybe I should put it in like a little muslin pouch or something first, but we'll see how this turns out. I have a little bunny rabbit at my feet. Wait, he was by my feet. I don't know where he went. They move so fast. And of course, if you are also growing like rosemary or lavender, that would be just incredible to have in this mixture. And you'll notice this time I'm not bothering to bruise the needles, because we can easily, when we need a little boost of the scent in here, we can just kind of give it a little, it's kind of like a fidget toy too. Oh gosh, that little twig, that's all I needed. And now I've got this cute little thing. I'm going to grab some embroidery thread and a little button and show you how I'm going to close this. This is a jar of buttons that I got at an antique store. Some of these buttons I purchased after the fact. Antique stores are great sources for buttons. I don't know why, but people just sell them by the dozens at antique stores. Probably from back in the day when our grandmas were making our clothes for us or something. This is not how I used to store my embroidery thread, but I needed an easier way to transport it with me when we were honeymooning in Scotland. So I ended up with this ridiculous heap of embroidery thread. Oh no! I'll just cut that off. No. Oh gosh, okay. I bought some of these wooden buttons. Oh, I love that. Look how cute. I also have some steampunk buttons. This is pretty. It's kind of like a gold mother of pearl. Stay up. Gold mother of pearl. Maybe I'll use that. What's this one? Okay. Maybe this one. This one's really pretty. Okay, let's see what happens. So I'm bringing, this is a square, a quilting square of fabric. So I'm just gonna bring the edges to get, is that the best way to do this? Maybe you need to do it like a dumpling. There we go. I'm going to take, I'm definitely not going to need all of this, but I'm going to take, let's cut this right here. You are watching my thought process as I do this. It was in my head and now I'm trying to make it a thing. Okay, I'm gonna tie it off. 1, 2, and then I'm gonna take this. This is definitely not necessary, but as you can see, I have a lot of buttons. Actually, that's not even all of my buttons. I inherited some from my mom when she was like, yeah, go ahead and take all my sewing stuff. So I have to do something with all of these. Oh my gosh, how cute. I don't know if this one will go through. Let me see. Is it working? Is it working? Is it working? Wait for it. Is this how I want to do it? Wait, I want this to go in the opposite direction of the one I already threaded through so that I can tie a knot once I get it through that other side. So I think I'm gonna pull this taut. There we go, now there's room. You can do it. Yes! Ha-ha! Success! Just a little something fun. And I tied this off at the top of the little pile of needles I put in here, so they shouldn't be going anywhere at this point. This could also be really pretty with ribbon, couldn't it? So this is just a teeny, I'm telling you, this little amount of pine needles is so fragrant that this would be all you would need. I'm just gonna cut, come on, cut those. Look how cute. Oh my gosh, what if I made it little bunny ears for Easter? Okay, I might play with this and like maybe do an edit or like a part 2 of this video and see if I can make little bunny ears out of it, because that's what my brain is making. Oh, but it doesn't look quite right at the moment though. But can you see it? Can you see it? Like little bun ears? Oh. Yeah. That's pretty cute, isn't it? And again, pillowcase. You could put, tuck it in like one of your car door pockets. Something to kind of freshen up. You're sitting in traffic and you just give this little squeeze, play with the needles inside of it, give you something to fidget with, put it in your purse, your backpack for school. Et voila. And it's also just so cute. All right, I think I'm gonna stop it there. If you did either of these projects, I would really love to know if, like, your process with foraging, your process with making these things, which one was your favorite. I'm really curious about this. I think I've seen 4 to 6 weeks is how long you let this steep for, so we'll take a look at that in May, I suppose. But thank you so much for being here. If you think that this would be helpful for anyone else, please make sure you send the video their way. And take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.